You everyone. Last video you have seen the explanation on the reporting speech, and I have traced on the reason why we can use the reporting speech in present tense. And we have known that these are the three conditions which we can use the present tense in the reporting speech or indirect speech. So now let's get more detail on this one. And how could we place that in the right forms in using the reporting speech. First one, we have to identify a person who made the statement with the reporting statement, who made the statement. That's why we have to find that person and put that name, or somehow you can just pronoun in the present tense reporting clause. I will show you the example in the next slide. And then we have to put the information that you are reporting in that clause. Normally in reporting speech we use that clause, but most of the time or most often people decided to omit the that in the reporting speech or reporting statement. And the meaning between having that in the reporting speech and without that in the reporting speech, the meaning will be different. The meaning still the same, but that is the rules to make you have option whether you want to put that or you just want to omit that from the reporting statement. Let's see the example. Like the original statement has been made by S.Vireak. S.Vireak said you should make a list of questions. So you here refer to you have to identify who is the subject talking to. So you in this sentence is refer to the student. So when we make the reporting speech, this is how we make the reporting speech. So as we mentioned here, identify a person who made the statement. So in this sentence, S.Vireak is the person who made the statement. So you have to put the name of that person in the beginning of the sentence plus the reporting verbs, and this whole thing will consider as the reporting the reporting clause in the present tense. So we use present tense here, and we have to replace the pronoun you here because this person, S.Vireak, talking to the student, so we have to replace the subject you into the student because you are reporting the speech from S.Vireak. So the student who should make a list of questions. So this is how we could make the reporting speech. Let's see, I classified it into forms. So S.Vireak slash say plus that plus student plus verb plus the objects. So noun or pronoun here is referred to the person who made the statement, and say is the reporting verb. There are some reporting verbs we use, and I will show you in the next slide. And plus that here I put it into the parentheses because we have option to put that or omit that in the reporting statement. And plus the subject, the person or group of people who this person are talking to, and then plus verb and plus object, and this whole thing we consider as the noun clause, and this whole thing we will consider as the reporting clause. So there are two clauses in the reporting speech. First one is reporting clause, and another one is noun clause. Reporting clause consists of the name or pronoun referring to the person who are making the statement, plus the reporting verb here, and plus that. And that here can be omitted. And the noun clause having the subject, verb, and objects. So these are the form in making the reporting speech. So let's see the other reporting verbs which we could use to make the reporting speech or reporting statement with the that clauses. We have tell, explain, feel, think, and believe. These are the reporting verb, and there are some more from that, but these are 5 commonly used in the reporting speech. What would be noticed is tell. Tell here is followed by noun and pronouns. And the other thing is following these structures, like say. So we can put explain here, you can put feel here, you can put think here, you can put believe here, whatever, but it will follow the same format or same form here. But if we use tell, you can see here, if you tell, something have changed in the forms. So after the reporting verb we have that, but here if you use tell after reporting verb tell, we have to use subject. We have to have another subject here. So the same example, right? James 20, you should make a list of questions. When you make reporting speech with tell, you have to put James 20 tell student. Tell whom? Tell student. So you here is referred to the student. Tell student that they here refer to this student. So they should make a list of students. So the form will be the person who make the statement, noun, or you can use a pronoun if you have already known the person. And then you have to put the word tell, third person singular, and refer to the subject. And then you have to plus the subjects with the person who are talking to. And then plus that here's the same thing, we can put it or you can omit it. And plus the noun clause, I explained it already, is noun plus or pronoun, whatever you would like to use, plus verb and plus object. Normally we use a pronoun here because we have already mentioned the subject is here. So these are the difference. So you can see the difference. If you use other reporting speech, we follow this form. But if you use the reporting speech with the word tell, you have to follow this form, right? All right. Another remark is this: when we use the reporting questions, reporting speech in the question forms. Usually we use WH clause to report questions, and I think you have known what is WH. Normally we have understand about WH question. So here is WH clause because we use this WH clause in the reporting speech. What are they? They are who, what, where, when, and how. And normally in the WH question we use question mark, but for the reporting speech we don't use question mark. We don't use question mark anymore. So the reporting clause is in the statement form, like subject plus verb, not a question mark. And then let's see the example. Why and how could it look like? The original sentence, many students have mentioned this. What should you wear to an interview? So if you want to make the reporting speech of these questions from the student, you have to use this way. Many students wonder, right? This is WH. Wonder what? This is WH clause. The wonder is the reporting verb, and what is the WH clause, right? They should wear to an interview, right? So the form is the person who made the question, and then plus reporting verb. Here we use wonder. So this whole thing we consider as the reporting clause. And then we use the WH words, like we have mentioned who, what, where, when, and how. And then plus subject, plus verb, and plus object. This whole thing we can see as the noun clause, or we can say WH clause, right? WH clause. And you can also use WH clause to report the answer of someone toward a question of something. For example, what are the other reporting verbs that we can use? We can use explain, we can use describe, we can use tell, right? Let's see more example of WH clause. In the original sentence, the news article have mentioned this. You should wear a suit to an interview. So what would be the question if you would like to get this answer? You have to consider this if you would like to use the WH clause. So we have mentioned already here is you can use the WH clause to report the answer of someone toward a question. So to report that answer, to reflect back to that answer, and you want to use the reporting question with the WH clause, you have to think about what would be the question so that the answer will appear this way. So let's get back to our example here. You get this answer. This is the answer. So what would be the question for this answer? So the question for this answer would be, what should you wear to the interview, right? So the answer will be you should wear a suit to an interview. So to make the reporting question with the W8 clause, you have to consider, you have to think about the question toward this answer. So let's see this reporting question. The article explains what should you wear to an interview. So the form is the same thing. Find the person who make the questions or giving the answer, and then use the reporting verb we have mentioned. We can use wonder, we can use explain, we can use describe, we can use tell, right? W8 word plus subject plus verb plus object, right? So this whole thing is considered as a noun clause or WS clause, right? Anything else? So the same thing when we use the W8, when you make the reporting question with the W8 clause, it's the same thing like you making the reporting statement with the that clause with the reporting verb tell. The difference is when we use the reporting verb tell in the reporting statement, we have to have the subject. And the same thing, if we would like to use a reporting question with W8 clause and using the reporting verb tell, you have to have another one, which is the subject. Let's see the same example of the reporting question and using the reporting verb tell. So here, if we use the reporting verb tell, you have to use the article tell you, right, what you should wear, wear to the interview. So the subject is the person who make the answer, and you have to think about the question, reflect back to that answer, and use the reporting verb tell plus the subject plus W8 words and plus noun or pronouns and plus verb and object as what you have seen in this statement. So my recommendation, if you use tell, it's just the exceptional case. You have to have what? Subject. Either you want to make the reporting speak in the question with the W8 clause, or you want to make the reporting statement with the that clause, right? Alright, so these are the whole things to explain you about the reporting speech, especially with the present tense. I think you might get some idea how could we use it properly, and I highly recommend you to go to the practice on page 176 and 177 to practice the reporting speech. Any other questions we will discuss in the class. Alright, thank you for your